friends, Mindy here. I have a process video for you today. I'm going to be working in this journal. I'm going to be creating some ephemera to put in the pockets and adding some things to it to decorate this journal. This journal has been sitting in my project cart for quite a while. I created it several months ago. I do have a video, I believe. I will link that down below if you're interested in seeing how it came together. Excuse me. There are two signatures in this journal. It measures roughly 4 inches wide by 5.5 for the cover. So the inner pages are a little bit smaller than that. And then some of them, you know, they vary in size as well. There is a mix of vintage papers and specialty papers. You can see I have like some piano roll in here. I have some braille paper, some vintage ledger, vintage paper. This is like a vintage hymnal. I have maps and just all kinds of different things, and as well as some actual like scrapbook paper. So it's kind of a mix of things. And I wouldn't say it's heavily themed, but it does have kind of a travel vibe going on to it. And like I said, there are two signatures in here, and each signature has about 60 pages in it, depending on how you want to count some of these specialty pages. But there's a lot of paper in here, a lot of areas to write. So I have already filled out like some of the pockets, like this one right here already has a tag in it. Some of them I just need to fill, and then I do want to add just a few things, but I need to get this finished. So I thought I would just turn on the camera, and I'm going to put you on fast forward while I finish up this little journal. So first thing, I'm going to add this little cluster that I created. It's been sitting in with this journal for quite a while, and it's just time to get it glued down. I'm just going to put it here in this bottom right hand corner and use it as a tuck spot. I do realize as I was editing this video that I didn't actually put a journaling card or anything in there, but I did do that off camera, so you won't see it in the flip through, but it did get a little journaling card in there. And then I have this little tuck spot here that's on the right side, and I want to add a tag here, just because it's not a super deep pocket. It's just kind of more of a tuck spot, but I want to use this craft tag, but it's just a little bit boring. So I am going to add some of the scrap paper that I had that was left over from making this journal and from making some of these library pockets that I'm going to be gluing in. And so I'm just going to add just a little bit of interest to this tag. I'm gluing it down just the left side of this, and that way it's, you know, almost like you would do with washi, just to add a little bit of interest to that tag, and it's just going to tuck in that little spot. And I did not add any fabric or anything to any of the tags. I just didn't want it to get too bulky. This journal already is pretty chunky, so I have this other little scrap that I want to create a tag out of, because of the back side of it is real plain design that you can write on, but on this left side I'm just really not very excited about whatever's happening over there. So I am going to add a little bit of this paper. This is actually some By the Well for God paper. It's just a scrap that I've had in my stash forever, and I just liked the kind of industrial feel of that. And so I just put that in there, trimmed that tag down a little bit, and tucked it in that pocket. And then I have this other spot right here that's got it's a little pocket. It's kind of hard to open right here, but I have a Tim Holtz journaling card that I want to put in there, but on the back side of this is floral, and there's really no room to write on it. So I'm going to back this with some coffee dyed paper and trim that out. That way it can just it can fit in there. You can pull it out, and then you'll have some writing space. And then this particular pocket, if you wanted to, it's right around that signature, the stitching, you could sew that close or glue it closed on the two sides, and then basically create yourself another pocket if you wanted to, or you can leave it open. But back here is where I'm adding one of the library cards that I created. It just has one of the little craft tags tucked down in there. Again, I did not put any toppers or anything on any of the tags. I just felt like it could maybe get a little bit too bulky, or you may want to, you know, do that as you're decorating or whatever. So I left those kind of just empty this time. And then I have another one that I'm adding. I'm going to be putting this on the braille paper. I want you to be able to see the braille paper, and because it's just so fun. But I did want you to be able to actually write, you know, have some writing space as well. So I'm going to add this one to kind of the back side of that braille paper on that same signature on just on one side. I'm just gluing it down, holding it down. Art glitter glue is a strong adhesive, but this is really bumpy paper, and I'm adhering some really heavy cardstock on there. So I just wanted to hold those in place just for a minute and make sure that they're not going to go anywhere. And then I have a little tuck spot here that I'm just going to add another Tim Holtz journaling card. And I did go through my stash of Tim Holtz cards and kind of pulled out some that, you know, had maps or just something that would kind of coordinate with this journal. So I'm going to add a few of those throughout the journal. This one had some map on it, but it was just a little bit too big. So I'm just going through those ones that I pulled out, and I found another one that has a vintage map on there. And but I'm trying to preserve all of the writing space that's in this journal. So I did have on this green paper, I just felt like it needed a little bit of interest. So I'm using one of those Tim Holtz journaling cards and just making a pocket out of that. And then I thought it would be fun to add some tickets on the inside. So I have this ticket book here. I'm just going to tear out a couple of the kind of longer, skinny tickets, because I feel like you could write on the back of them in the same way that you would like a regular tag or whatever. So I'm just going to add a couple of those just for fun here in this little pocket. You could certainly add whatever you want extra into this pocket, but if you did decide to use this as a travel journal, you could maybe keep your own receipts or whatever in there as well. And then I have this other little tuck spot that just needs a journaling card. So I have this one that has some map on it, so I'm going to put that in there. And then another tuck spot with a journaling card that's just got some lines on the back. Just trying to keep a lot of writing space. So here on this page, I'm going to add another one of these library cards. I created these for a different project a long time ago. And so they have just really been sitting in my stash unused. I had created more than I needed at the time. So they've just been sitting around. And so now they have a home in here. And then I have this little scrap paper. This was actually a piece from one of the pages that created the journal. And I just didn't want to throw it away. So I'm going to create a little pocket down at the bottom of this page here for this tag. So these tags actually were part of the paper pack that I used. And so I had just cut them out. Some of them I cut out, you know, my own shapes or whatever, but that's where those came from. And then I'm just kind of flipping back and forth, trying to find a good place for everything. And then I have one more tag that I want to use, which is this one with the Eiffel Tower on it, but I want to use this By the Well for God paper again, just trimming it down a little bit. I didn't want it to be quite so tall, the pocket. So just trimming that down, and then that little tag will fit in there. Again, just to try to make sure that I'm maximizing all of the writing space that's available for this particular journal. And I love that, again, like just a kind of industrial feel of that paper. And then that little tuck spot gets another journaling card. And as I was cleaning up, I found this one little scrap, and I thought, well, I can make a little tuck spot on a page. So I'm just going to do that here on this hymnal paper, adding this little piece and then another Tim Holtz journaling card. And I'm going to go ahead and do a quick flip through so you can kind of see all of the pages that are now complete, and all the little tuck spots, lots and lots of writing space in here. Like I said, I feel like this would make a good like travel journal, or I was going to use this journal a while back for a trip that we went on, and then I didn't end up doing anything with it. So anyway, I feel like it would just be a good place to kind of do some memory keeping or writing about different things. I don't know. I just really liked all of these papers together. So it was a lot of fun to create this particular journal. So anyway, if you have any questions about this journal or how it came together, again, I will link the video down below of me making this initial journal. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. If you liked it, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.